Well, happy 4th of July, y'all. To real patriotic Americans is who I'm talking to. Happy 4th of July. No, not you people that sat out and didn't even vote in this last election. No, you don't get a happy 4th of July from me. You don't get that. In fact, you can take one of them fireworks, light it on fire, and shove it up your butthole. You can do that with it. You can do that. Oh, and you, Team Taco, fake-ass patriot Trump supporters, you can light one on fire and swallow that sumbitch. You can do that, all right? But happy 4th of July to the rest of you out there who actually love this country and the people that live in it, But anyway, it's a hell of a 4th of July since, a lot of people might not even be around for the next one because that big bullcrap bill got passed yesterday in the House, And you wonder, how in the world did that thing even pass? There was like 30-something Republicans that said they was hard-nosed on that. They weren't going to vote on that bill. You know why they said they weren't going to do it? Said they'd get fired. Their constituents would fire them if they did it. Said the bill was so horrible that they wouldn't get reelected. They couldn't vote on that. They called it political suicide for them, And because it is, because when it comes back time for election again, the people that are still alive that can vote for them won't vote for them. And so they was kind of in a tight spot there, but I knew they would go ahead and vote for it anyway because they always do. And the reason for that is because of the way the Republican Party operates there, It's called blackmail, bribery, and death threats. That's how they operate. And you can tell by the way that it is there because whenever that Jim Jordan was trying to be Speaker of the House, people that wouldn't vote for him, their families were getting death threats from inside Congress, So that's the way they operate. And they got a lot of blackmail on them people. A $19 million slush fund of taxpayer dollars that they keep on Republicans all the time. They keep blackmail on each other, And that Donald F. and Trump, he's got him a bunch of blackmail on them people. Probably even got the RNC files there that the Russians took when they took the DNCs, Probably got them too. So that's how that works. I knew they was going to get all the votes. Now, not one single Democrat voted for it, you fake-ass patriots. You need to know that in the future there, whenever things start getting sideways for you, you can't blame a Democrat for it, all right? You can blame your own stupid self, and you can blame Donald F. and Trump, Krasnoff, and you can blame the Republicans that you put back there in Congress, but not Democrats, all right? Not one Democrat voted yes on that bill, all right? So keep that in mind, all right? Now, here's the thing. Y'all, them fake-ass patriots, Trump supporters, there's something weird about these people, y'all. And when I was a kid, my mama taught me that the most disrespectful thing I can do is lie to her, And I learned on that. She telling me that, and I learned on it, And whenever I grew up and had kids, the same thing. My kid would come up to me and tell me a lie, and I'd be like, son, don't do that. That right there is disrespectful, You don't be lying to me like that. Man, it pissed me off to be telling me, and it still does. If a grown-ass man lies to my face right now, ain't nothing pisses me off more than that right there. Because he's telling me, I think you're so stupid, you're about to believe what comes out of my mouth, Disrespectful is what that is, and lies still bother me. Now, there's something weird about these Trump supporters, and that is, they like being lied to. And that's a weird thing to like on, being lied to like that. I don't know why they get off on it or anything, but they definitely do because that's all people ever do to them is lie to them, and they come back for more of it, like the Fox faking news. Lie to them, lie to them, lie to them. What do? They go back to that Fox faking news toilet bowl, just drink right out of it again. Because they like the lies, They like the taste of it. They like the taste of that dookie lie that they get all the time. So that's the reason why they like Krasnoff so much. 31,000 lies the first time he was pretending to be president. That's a lot of lies. They ain't even counting them this time, I don't think. They quit making calculators that could count that high. So they don't even count them anymore. He's just constantly lying to them anyway, Just like them Republicans, whenever Joe Biden was having that State of the Union address, and that Marjorie Taylor Greene was dressed up in one of them bright red maggot costumes and acting a fool out there in the audience. And Joe Biden was saying that the Republicans wanted to cut the Medicares and the Medicaids and all the SNAP benefits. They said they weren't doing it. They said that Joe Biden was the liar, that was a Democrat talking point. They weren't never going to do that. Well, look what they just went and did. They did that, is what they did. After they lied to the American people repeatedly about it. And Krasnoff himself, Donald F. and Trump, he told him another big fat lie too. He got on the TVs the other day and he said, I don't want to cut Medicaid and the Medicares and the SNAP bill. I don't want that. All I want is the tax cuts. I don't want none of that other stuff in that bill. That's what he said. There's a reason why that he said that. One is because he's an effing liar. And you can tell that by the way that it is too, because he actually said before that he didn't want these cuts to take place until 2029. Well, his maggot Republicans there in Congress, they wanted to speed that up to 2026 right there at the midterms. That way, they didn't kill all their constituents before they could vote for him one last time. But see, Krasnoff thought he was running for president for a third term. He ain't doing that. He'll be taking a dirt nap before that happens. But that's what he was thinking then, which means he knows all those cuts was in that bill. So if he's serious about not wanting all those cuts in there, you know what he can do? He can veto it. Yeah, he's the president. He can veto that bill because it don't have 2/3 majority vote on that thing. It ain't veto proof. So if he really don't want those cuts, he can veto it. But he won't do that, will he? No, because he's a effing liar. And that's what I'm saying. These people like being lied to. And that's the craziest thing to be liking on, But it got me to wondering, what would Donald F. and Trump sound like if he ever told the truth, Because nobody's ever heard it. It's like looking for a unicorn. Well, the thing is, I think this is what it would sound like. Listen.
Me and Jeffrey, man, those were the days. They were 13, maybe 14. Who really cares? They were young. That's when they're the best. Many of you know what I'm talking about. One reminded me of Ivanka. Unbelievable. Yeah, I fucked her. She laid there crying about what if she's pregnant. I threw the bitch some cash.
Right there.
And
That's
told her
exactly
to get a fucking
what it would
abortion.
sound like, y'all. That sounds exactly like the truth that he could tell, And he's probably told people that before is the thing. We just haven't been privy to those conversations, If he was talking to some of them kid-touching preachers, right there in his class of people, that doing the same diddly things, together. He's probably told them that, Some of these Republicans there in Congress, they probably have heard that conversation too, because they've got a $19 million slush fund to cover up all the little things they've been doing, So birds of a feather flock together, So anyway, I think that's what it would sound like if he ever told the truth, At least we got a glimpse of it. And then there's other liars out there, like that Leon Musk feller, big old effing liar, going out there doging it up for us. I'm going to doge it and going to save America some money is what I'm going to do because I'm going to be the hero, and doge it up. People out there waiting by their mailboxes, getting heat strokes and stuff, waiting for a doge check that never came because of him, Well, that ain't what he was doing. He was lying about the whole thing, what he was doing, because what he was doing was going in there and covering up all the investigations that was investigating every single one of his corrupt companies. That's what they were doing. He was shutting that down and, giving information to the Russians because why not, And also, he was basically just stealing all of our data so that he could feed it to his grok, his AI, So he's a big effing liar too. And I'm like, well, he's all the time lying all the time. And now he's wanting to start his own party and he's a big effing liar. I think he figured out if you want to appeal to these people, you got to be a big old effing liar is what you got to do. So anyway, I was wondering, well, what would it sound like if Leon ever told the truth? I think this might be what it sounds like.
Yeah, it was actually quite easy. It's just numbers, and with Starlink and Grok, my AI, those machines, they're not really secure. They're the swing states.
Man,
just
that
needed a
right
little
there,
adjustment.
that would be the truth that come out of Leon's mouth, y'all. We need some sodium pentathols is what we need, some truth serums, and pass them around the Congresses and into the White Houses and to the billionaires and stuff, and start truth searing them up, making them tell us the truth from now on, But anyway, I just want to let y'all know that, that bill did pass. We're effed because of it. It's going to suck real bad. Unfortunately, like I said, these people like to be lied to. And on top of that, they ain't nothing but effing racist anyway. And they don't care what's in that bill. As long as they've got some hurt and some hate going on in this country, that's what gets them off. All right? Inmate Trump.